everyone, I'm Mrs. Little. I teach Year 4 here at Quest, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about problem solving. Problem solving is really important in childhood, while we're in school, but also as we get older and we're adults. It teaches us to carry on, to persevere and not give up. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple of puzzles, some of the things that I teach in my classroom to get the children's brains going, and how you can also implement these things in your own home. And over the next couple of lessons that I do with you, I'm going to introduce some of the problem solving strategies that we're going to talk about today and show you how you can use these at home with very little resources. Some of the things that we're going to use over the next couple of days are dice. These are very easily found in the likes of Day Today for very cheap. Some counters. This can be a piece of paper cut up, coloured, and 100 square. This is actually a times tables grid, but 100 square with 100 numbers. You can print one from Google, they're very easily found, or you can draw one out if you have some time. So what I'm going to show you today is two puzzles that really get your mind going, help you think, strategize, and it's a little bit about trial and error as well. Try something, if it doesn't work, right, how can I fix this and make it better for next time? And this is something that's really important in all aspects of our learning. If you write a story in English, you try it, you don't like it, you make some changes and you make it better. It's the same strategy. So the first puzzle I'm going to show you here is called 7 Up. So there are 7 circles and there are also some instructions. One of the things that's really important when you're problem solving is to read the instructions because they give you clues as to what you need to get, your end goal. So if you read the instructions really clearly, you're going to know exactly what to do. Or maybe not, but you'll have a good head start. So it says, put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 in the circles so that each straight line of 3 numbers adds up to the same total. What I'm going to do to help myself is I'm going to underline some key phrases that are going to help me in this puzzle. So I'm going to underline 3 numbers, adds, because that's the operation I'm going to use today, adding. I'm not subtracting, I'm not multiplying, I'm not dividing, I'm adding. So I need to remember that. Adds up to the same total. Do I know what that total is going to be? No, I don't. But I'm sure I'll find out as I go. So what I've done is I've got 2 copies of my puzzle here, just in case I make a mistake. But that's okay, mistakes are totally fine because you learn from them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and figure out, now maybe I should just put the numbers randomly and see if there is a pattern. So I'm going to add the number 1 here, the number 2, and I'm going to go all the way around. Oh, and I've made a mess on my page, but that's fine. So now that I've added my numbers, I've used each number once, which I think is the right thing to do. I'm going to add, so the numbers here in the line have to make the same total. So in order for me to figure that out, I'm going to add. 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 4 makes 12. Okay, so that's the total on that line. So now I'm going to take this line here and I'm going to see if I can get 12 again. 5 plus 7 makes 12. Oh no, I've done it wrong. I'm going to have to try another strategy. I think having the 7 in the middle is going to be the difficult part. Or that's the key part. But what is going to be important is how the numbers connect on the outside. So let me try again. I'm going to stick with my strategy of having 7 in the middle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of the numbers that make up 7. So these are my number stories, or my number bonds. So numbers that make up 7, let me think. Well, 1 plus 6 makes 7, 2 plus 5 makes 7, and 3 plus 4 makes 7. And they're all the numbers that I have to use in my puzzle. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to break up those numbers. So I'm going to have my 1 up here, like I did last time, but instead of putting the 6 next to it, I'm going to put it down here. Then it doesn't really matter which one I go to next. I'm going to put the 2 up here, and what goes with 2 to make 7? 5. So I'm going to put my 5 there, and then the last 2 numbers are 3 and 4, so I'm going to add them here. Now I'm hoping that I've got it right this time. Let's see. So again, adding the same way as last time, 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 6 is, I haven't been thinking about maths for a while, so I need to give myself some thinking time. 14. Now, if one of my other lines adds up to 14, I know that I'm on the right track. 5 plus 7 makes 12. 12 plus 2 makes 14. I think I've cracked the puzzle. Let's try. Let's make sure. 3 plus 7 makes 10. 10 plus 4 makes 14. Brilliant. So what I've done is I've solved the puzzle. I had to do trial and error because the first time I did it, I wasn't quite sure what strategy I was going to use. And it didn't work for me. So I kept the 7 in the middle because I felt that that was important. And now I've solved the puzzle. So I'm very happy with myself, and this gives me a real sense of achievement, and I feel successful today. So I'm really, really happy with myself. I'm just going to show you another example of a puzzle, but as I said, over the next few lessons, I'm going to talk to you about different things that you can do in your house. This puzzle comes from a website called Enrich, and it's a UK-based website. At the bottom of this video, or in the link in the description, we'll add the website, just so that you can go on and have a look. These can be printed very easily at home, or you can draw out some of the diagrams on a page if you don't have a printer. So this one is a square of numbers, and this is geared for children aged between 7 and 11. So for my age group and for the children that I teach, this is perfect. Can you put the numbers 1 to 8 into the circles so that the 4 calculations are correct? Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the key phrases. So the 4 calculations are correct. So what I've got this time are all 4 of my mathematical operations. I've got division, subtraction, addition, and multiplication. Now, which operations make a number bigger and which operations make a number smaller? These are going to be things that I'm going to think about as I go through my problem. I know that when I divide something, it makes a number smaller, and also subtraction does the same thing. I know that if I add or multiply, it makes my number bigger. So the first thing that I'm looking at here, I've got all my numbers on my side, and obviously I can only use one of each. I'm thinking that this one needs to be the biggest number, and the reason why I say that is when you multiply 2 numbers together, it has to be a bigger number. So what I'm thinking is that maybe the biggest number of all needs to go here. So that's what I'm going to do. 8 is the biggest number, so if I multiply any other numbers like 5 and 2, I'm going to end up making 10, and I don't have 10, so that's why I'm sticking with 8 on this one. Now, how can I make 8? I can multiply 8 times 1, which would work, but I've already used my 8. So I need to think of another way to make 8 by multiplication. Can you think of one? Think of your times tables. You got it. 2 and 4. But I don't know which number goes where. So I'm going to have to think of another thing. But what I'm going to do to remind myself is I'm going to put the numbers 2 and 4 there. Here, I have to add 2 numbers together to make 8. Well, this is going to be really easy because a lot of the numbers when you add them together will make 8. So I can't do this one just now, and that's fine. I'm going to start here. Now, with division, you're usually dividing a number. Well, you are dividing a number. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to think of a large number that can be divided into something. So I'm going to try and put 6 here and see if that will work. Now, I need to put 2 and 4 here, and if I divide 6 by 3, that will leave 2, which would work. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to put my 3 there, and I'm going to put my 2 there. So what numbers have I got left? I've got 1, 4, 5, and 7. I'm going to use the 4. So 6 take away something leaves something. So I need to find a number that's smaller than 6. So I can't put 7 there because I'm going to end up with a negative number, and I don't want that. I don't have any negative numbers to use. So I'm going to try and put the number 5 there because it's smaller than 6. And if I subtract 5 from 6, I'm left with 1. 1 plus something leaves 8. Now what numbers am I left with? I've used my 1, I've used my 4, 7 is the only one left, and look at that, I've solved my puzzle. I tried, I read the instructions, I persevered, and if I wasn't sure, I left a piece and went on. But I thought about persevering, and I kept going. So I hope you had fun learning about puzzles today. It's really important. I know it's fun, but also it's a good strategy for school life and adult life. So the next time you see me, I hope you've got some of the resources ready for some of these items. So some dice are going to be helpful, some counters or colouring pencils, they will work, and 100 square. Again, you can find those on Google, or if you have time, you can draw it out. So thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you learned something today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.